Tony Ferguson wins the interim lightweight UFC championship belt, disposing of Kevin Lee on Saturday in what turned out to be a truly fantastic card. It's not the narrative I want to run with. It saved the UFC calendar, but it was good. Tony Ferguson, truthfully, is as Rick, again, I'm going to use Rick's exact words for it. He has so many tools in his toolbox that he can use. There's not a lot of weaknesses in his game at all, as he displayed against Kevin Lee. But the big story that came out of it is we don't want to see Tony Ferguson fight Kevin Lee. We want to see Tony Ferguson fight Conor McGregor. So according to Dana White in the press conference right afterwards, you know, it's Dana White, so we have no idea whether it's actually true or whether it's actually just him talking. He discussed how it's the only fight that has to happen, and anything Diaz versus McGregor 3 is fake news.
Did he say that?
What?
Dana?
Yeah.
Oh, I read something different. I read, like, through his comments, he was like, "Why always give the fighters what they want?" And Conor wanted to have a boxing match. It's like, oh, come on, dude.
It's the fight that has to happen according to Dana White. And look, in terms of protecting the UFC and saying that these rankings mean something and the belts mean something, he's right, technically. Conor does have to fight Tony Ferguson.
Right, the problem is Conor doesn't feel the same way.
There's that thing where you go, oh wait, I have more leverage than Dana White does. Conor does.
Yes, completely.
Truthfully.
Completely.
In terms of the fight, Ferguson versus Lee.
Yeah.
What'd you think? What'd you think? What'd you think?
All right, so
just what'd you think?
So the blueprint. Well, let me tell you.
When you were watching, your thought process was?
The blueprint was laid out by Tony Ferguson right when this fight was made. He told us what he was going to do.
That's very true, actually.
He said that he was going to test Kevin Lee's conditioning and he's going to take him into the later rounds. I know it ended in round 3, but he said that he was going to do this.
And he did that.
And he did it. He did it. What he did was very similar. I know a lot of people aren't like the biggest UFC fans, but here's the similarity I'll make. So when Nate Diaz fought Conor McGregor the second time, Nate Diaz, granted, he took some punches, but he also went down very easily because what he wanted to do was bait Conor McGregor into going to the mat. So what Tony Ferguson did, he got popped in the first round, okay? Kevin Lee dominated the first round. However, real quick.
There was a little chance he could get. He said, Tony Ferguson said, I was not getting knocked out, but there was a chance that it looked like Tony Ferguson was about to get knocked out.
Completely. He had top position for like 30 to 45 seconds. He was pounding away at Tony Ferguson. I'm not saying Ferguson allowed him to do that, but what he wanted to do was have Kevin Lee expel all of his energy in the opening round so he could close in 2, 3, and what I thought would be 4 or 5. It only went 3 again, but he submitted Kevin Lee. So he told us he was going to test his conditioning, take him into the later rounds, and he did it. So we really can't be that surprised. Now, for Conor McGregor and Tony Ferguson, we sort of mentioned that there is, do we have the quote, by the way? Okay, it doesn't matter. So he said, where are you at, McNugget, like to call out Conor. McNuggets, the best thing on the menu. The best thing on the menu, the chicken McNuggets.
Me and J.R. Jackson, I believe the McGriddle is pretty good. Wouldn't that just be pancakes? We don't have time for the tangent.
Don't have time for tangents.
Go.
So, will he fight Conor McGregor? My thought process is no.
No.
Because Conor has like 6 other fights that he could do. Unfortunately, I think 4 of those maybe are for more money than what Tony Ferguson would. They would hype up the gate in ways that you thought Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor 3 could. There's a respect for every single fighter, and there is a respect that's built between Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor. A lot of people just don't want to admit it because they want to buy into the storyline of them hating each other. Tony Ferguson and Conor McGregor would absolutely hype up the gate in ways that I don't think we could ever imagine. However, I don't think it happens immediately. I think it happens if Conor wants it to happen or if he's in dire financial straits from spending all of his money on Ric Flair-like clothes. So there you go.
Hey, now.
Woo. Who wants to ride Space Mountain?
Comment below. Would you just comment? It's Monday. Jesus.